Jimmy Fallon and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The Voices America trusts. Download it now.
A former Arkansas police chief turned convict is still on the run after escaping prison. Fox's Brooke Taylor.
Grant Hardin escaped prison last Sunday, leaving many people wondering what is taking so long to find him, especially because this is a convicted murderer and rapist that is just on the run and could really be anywhere. The Department of Corrections says they have received a ton of calls from people about possible sightings, but no possible leads about where he could be. Hardin has law enforcement experience. He was once the police chief in the small town of Gateway. In 2017, he was convicted of murder. His DNA then linked him to an unsolved rape of an elementary school teacher back in 1997.
Taylor reporting from Gateway, Arkansas. Gunfire ringing out at a house party in Catawba County early Monday morning, leaving at least multiple victims injured.
They believe there were about 100 people that were at the party, and we do know that 80 shots were fired. Shell casings littered all over the front yard and also in the back area. There were crime scenes inside the house and around it. A gruesome scene, a span of 2 acres, and a property that they have to comb every inch of, and they believe that there are multiple shooters here. Now, we do know that there were 12 victims, one person who died, and that person was identified by investigators as being Sean Patrick Hood, 58 years old, of Lenore, and he was the oldest person that was there at the party, with the youngest being 16 years old.
And that was Brian Blakely with Fox TV affiliate WJZY in Charlotte. Nearly a dozen people injured in a mass stabbing at an Oregon church early Sunday night. Police say 11 people were wounded in that attack at the Union Gospel Mission in downtown Salem. One suspect's in custody, his identity not yet released, and no motive reported so far. And this month, the Fox News Radio Network is celebrating 20 years of breaking news every hour, every day. For more headlines, go to foxnewsradio.com. I'm Sue Guzman. This is Fox News.
He's been your biggest cheerleader, your silent hero, your rock. This Father's Day, say thank you with something truly special. Celebrate Dad with a handcrafted ice cream cake from Cold Stone Creamery. Made with love and his favorite flavors. It's more than dessert. It's a memory in every slice. Stop by our GPO or mall location and make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Cold Stone Creamery, where every celebration starts from the heart. Order in advance at coldstonecreamery.com.
Hi, this is Jerry Roberts. What's happening in the workplace? What about your job and career? What ideas will find their way into your world? That's what you get with The Extra Point every day on The Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 FM. Sometimes it's about what's in the news, or working relationships, or how to get further and do better. I try to make it interesting, inspiring, and hopefully sneak a little fun in too. Be a part of it. 7:25 weekday mornings. The Extra Point. Brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
Okay, what's BP Smart Pay?
So it uses your smartphone to pay when shopping at the grocery store, mall, or wherever they accept contactless payments.
Restaurants too?
Yep.
Okay, how?
It's easy. Go to your wallet on your smartphone and enter your Bank Pacific Visa debit card, and presto, your smartphone is now Smart Pay ready.
BP Smart Pay. I like it.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots for over 70 years. Member FDIC.
It is 1806 hours. Time for Veterans with Benefits with your hosts, Anthony Tyron and Corinna Ballista.
Hello, I am back. I didn't get to say I'm back last week because we did the Memorial Day event. But thank you. As always, we want to start by thanking our sponsors, Ambrose Inc., HMI, the veteran nonprofit organization, Hebzibah Family Medical Clinic, American Legion Post 1, Master Blasters for all your blasting needs, Domino's Pizza.
Yay, thank you, Dane.
And then JTC Services and 11Z's. I tried something new today. I just got an iced mocha. Normally I get an espresso, but I love that one. And they offer 11% discount for veterans and military. And then Veteran of the Week. Ambrosio Constantino began his military career as a cadet at in the University of Guam ROTC program, while concurrently serving with the Guam Army National Guard. Upon commissioning as a second lieutenant, he attended the Officer Basic Course, where he was selected for active duty service. His first assignment placed him in South Korea, stationed just south of the DMZ. During his active duty career in the U.S. Army, Captain Constantino served as a military intelligence officer and deployed in support of Operation Desert Storm. He participated in advanced combat training at the National Training Center and was promoted to the rank of captain. While on military leave, he made the pivotal decision to transition out of active duty to prioritize family life, submitting his resignation and returning to Guam. Captain Constantino continued his service with the Guam Army National Guard in a reserve capacity, holding various key assignments including anti-terrorism officer for the National Guard, Homeland Security Advisor for the Government of Guam, Red Cross Disaster Program Manager, and Executive Housekeeper in the civilian sector. During his time with the Guard, he deployed to Afghanistan, where he served as a brigade intelligence officer and executive officer for his unit. He retired honorably from the Guam Army National Guard following his return from deployment. In his post-military career, Mr. Constantino became a successful entrepreneur, co-founding a business during the COVID-19 pandemic. He remains deeply committed to community service and civic leadership. He has volunteered with the American Red Cross since the mid-1990s, teaching CPR and conducting outreach for newly arrived service members at Andersen Air Force Base. Mr. Constantino was elected president of the Guam Gold Lions Club for the 2025-2026 term and serves as chairperson for the 2027 Asia-Pacific Conference of Kiwanis International Guam. His career reflects a lifelong commitment to service, both in uniform and as a community leader. Let us thank him for his service. Ambrosio Constantino. All right.
Congratulations. Be sure you go get that pizza over at Domino's.
All right. And then you want to share the tip of the week?
Yes, I do.
Tip of the week.
So, tip of the week, how the VA decides your disability rating. Before assigning a disability rating, the VA must determine if your condition is service-connected, meaning it was caused by your military service, made worse by service, or presumed to be related due to certain exposures or service circumstances, i.e., Agent Orange Gulf War Syndrome. You must provide medical evidence like a diagnosis, service record showing the event or exposure, and nexus statement linking the condition to service. Number 2, compensation and pension exam. If your evidence is sufficient or the VA needs more information, they may schedule a CMP exam with a VA or with the VA or a contracted provider. This exam helps confirm your diagnosis, assess the severity of the condition, provide functional impact details. The examiner may complete a disability benefits questionnaire, DBQ, that aligns with your conditions, for example, back, PTSD, or diabetes. Number 3, applying the VA schedule for rating disabilities, VA SRD. The VA uses Title 38 of the Code of Federal Regulations, Part 4, known as the VA SRD, to assign ratings. This is a standardized system based on diagnostic codes for each condition, severity of symptoms, functional loss, how it limits your ability to work or perform daily activities. Each condition has rating levels, example 0%, 10, 30, 50, etc. For example, PTSD might be rated from 0 to 100% based on symptoms like panic attacks, memory loss, suicidal ideation, etc. Knee injuries might range from 10% for slight instability to 60% for severe limitation or joint replacement. The VA assigns the rating that best matches the overall disability picture, often based on the most severe, consistent symptoms. Number 4, combining multiple ratings, if applicable. If you have multiple service-connected conditions, the VA uses a combined rating formula, not simple addition. For example, a 50% rating and a 30% rating don't equal to 80%. The VA applies percentages in order of severity using a VA math formula. See VA's combined ratings table for exact calculations. How disability ratings affect compensation and benefits. Monthly compensation, 0% rating, no monthly compensation, but may qualify for health care and other benefits. 10 to 100% ratings, monthly tax-free payments. Higher ratings equal higher payments. Dependent benefits, at 30% and above, you can receive additional compensation for dependents, spouse, children, or parents. Additional benefits by rating. 0%. VA health care for that condition. 10 to 20%. Some state benefits access to VA health care. 30 to 60%. Additional dependent pay, voc rehab eligibility. 70% plus. Priority health care, caregiver support, faster Social Security disability. 100%. Full VA health care, commissary access, CHAMP VA for family. TDIU, paid at 100% rate if unemployable due to service-connected disabilities. Summary, the VA bases your rating on medical diagnosis and severity, functional impairment, service connection, and standardized rating criteria in the VA SRD. Your disability rating directly impacts your monthly payments and eligibility for VA programs like healthcare, education, housing assistance, and more. So that's your tip of the week. So if you have any questions, feel free to call us or stop by at our next boot camp, which would be in Assen on June 10, 11, and 12, and you can learn a whole lot more about this.
All right. Did you want to say hello?
Hello to Knox, Aaliyah, and my mom.
All right. So we had a really busy month in May. We wrapped it up by having the Memorial Day event. Then we had the show. And then for June, I met my friend Tassie next door at the coffee shop. And she said, June is Mental Health Awareness Month for men. And she said that their sister company, Senhalam, because she works at Serenity back here, the massage place, they're going to have Broga, which is yoga for men, Wednesday at 6 p.m. And you can find their schedule and everything else they offer on their Facebook and Instagram pages. So they're called Senhalam. So this Saturday, we have our Women Veteran event, June 7th. That's going to be at Dusit. So if you want to register, send me a message, 671-682-7631. And then we also have our Benefits Boot Camp, June 10, 11, 12 in Aston, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. And then we have the hearing, which we'll talk more about later, for the Guam Veteran Empowerment Act of 2025. That's going to be on June 12 at 2 p.m. And then, of course, we didn't talk about the golf tournament. So do you want to pull up your long list of people that you would like to say thank you to for the golf tournament that I wasn't here for?
Yes, and before I do that, I wanted to apologize to Nissan and AutoSpot. They had vehicles for our hole-in-one at our golf event, and I wasn't able to mention them on our podcast. So I wanted to make sure that we covered that. And I guess maybe from the start, we wanted to thank our tournament leads or folks that were in charge of that was Bob Kelly from MCS, Norma Castellan from Chugash. The reason why we partnered with these folks was we wanted to start bringing together veterans and organizations to help bring awareness to the things that go on with our veterans. So often out here on the island, we have a fractured togetherness when it comes to veterans, and everyone has their little thing that they want to pursue. However, we need to still stay together. So this was one of our this year's things that HMI wanted to do. So that's one of the reasons we brought Bob Kelly, who's a veteran. He's the owner of MCS, and Norma, who's also a veteran, who is one of the leaders of the Chugash organization out here on Guam. To further do that, we also got in contact with the Dugout, one of the owners, Drew Arcee, who himself is also a veteran. And they catered the event. The food was awesome, and I think we had more than enough food to go around. We also partnered with Charlie Hermosa. He did the golf ball drop. He used his drones to do that, so that was also something that we did. Again, if you take a look at everything we're doing, HMI is bringing all the veterans and organizations with veterans together to hopefully get them to start partnering and doing things to help veterans. We wanted to thank a lot of our core people that were involved, Chief Mary Uggan, Miss Edith Mesa, Rita Guerrero, Joe Ramos, Joe Tenorio, Ed Superales, Rick Torres, Joey Manabusan, Miss Glory Guerrero over at Bank of Guam, the whole Chugash team, Claro Pineda, Tony Kineni, Chief Torres and the Anderson Air Force Base firefighters, all our volunteers, Ronnie and his team over at Sono Felice. We wanted to also congratulate our first place and second place winners. First place was Frank Russo and Dr. Aaron Johansson for the golf tournament. Second place was TJ Hubert and Spencer Steffi. The raffle grand prize winner was Velma Yurko. She won the 55-inch TV. And last but not least, of course, there was Frank Dela Cruz, who won the golf ball drop from the golf ball drone drop. He was the winner, $1,000. So congratulations to everybody that won. Thank you for everyone that participated. If I missed somebody, you need to give me a call and I will get your name and give you your thank you. But thank you, everyone, and we really appreciate it. We're going to do it again next year.
Yeah, so Jose's showing some of the pictures that we had there. Lots of food, and I heard the food was really good.
I forgot about Ambrose.
Oh,
I knew I was going to forget.
That's always number one.
But Ambrose was also a big part of our golf tournament, and they're a big part of what HMI does. So yeah, thank you to Jojo Jelani,
yes, the marketing team,
and then of course the marketing team and everyone over there. They're a huge part of what makes what we do very successful. So thank you again to Ambrose.
Yes, they donated the drinks, the ditty bags, the banners. The
first place
what
prize.
is it called, the placards for the whole sponsors, and then they donated the golf ball, the Michelob Ultra golf bag. So if you've never been to one of Ambrose's events, or if you've never golfed anything that they sponsored, I went to check what the value of that bag is. It's almost $300 for that Michelob Ultra bag. And then there's our thank you. So Auto Spot, Sono Felice, Bella Wings, Camacho Calvo, Caliente, Chugach.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Hubspot Clinic, The Most, of course, The Point, AM Insurance. And then there were a lot of other sponsors towards the end that we didn't meet the deadline to put them on the banner, but Island Flora and Hubzaba Flying Medical Clinic, and then JTC, they donated the balls, right, that were in the ditty bags. Yes, the ditty bags. I think they donated that. So that was the golf tournament, and it was really good. We're going to have our closeout meeting tomorrow, I think. We're having our closeout meeting tomorrow.
Okay. What else do we want to talk about with that?
Well, that was because we didn't get to talk about that last week because we had a whole show last week.
And we got to put in a plug for the Post. They went ahead and put our advertisements up, the chamber as well, right?
Yes.
So we had a lot of that, yeah. So we're going to continue this again next year. We're doing it again. Of course, Bob Kelly is the lead, and he wants to ensure that we continue to do this, and we'll definitely get more people involved and make this happen again.
Yes. All right. So I'm glad we talked about that. So the upcoming event that we have is on Saturday. So this Saturday, if you're a woman veteran, I know a lot of the guys like to complain, what about us? But, we weren't allowed to join the military until June of 1947, like fully integrate. Jose has the flyer up there. If you want to register, send a message to me. So registration is required because we have a certain area at Dusit Palm Cafe reserved for us. So registration is required. Please do not just show up. If you're a woman veteran, just register. Send me a message and I'll register you. So we're going to have raffle prizes, guest speaker, lunch, some games. So just, camaraderie, just hang out with other women veterans. And hopefully, I'm trying to gather resources for all the women veterans, especially that it's changing every time with the VA, the resources available for women. So that's June 7th. That's this Saturday.
Yes, and this is also one of the reasons why we do a lot of fundraising, because we have events like this, and we also have events like the outreach that we have every month, right? So as a nonprofit 501c3, HMI can ask for donations. And this event right here is one of the reasons why we do that. And, there might be organizations out there that may already have grants. And because they have grants, they don't need to go begging for money. As a matter of fact, if they do have grants, maybe it's a good idea that they maybe share some of those fundings with a lot of our other veterans out there and make it known what their grant is for and help take care of our veterans even more. But for us, we don't get that funding. We currently do not have dedicated funding coming from our leadership, our legislature, or our current administration. We're finding it hard to get funding to take care of these types of events. Anytime our veterans have to be the one to get together to provide their own services, makes it really kind of like they're just taking care of themselves. So maybe we need to get dedicated funding together, make sure that every year the women's event is covered. We shouldn't have to be, out there really pushing, but it's okay. For now, what are we going to do? Sit, twiddle our thumbs, and hope that some money will drop from the sky, or we continue to do what we do, which is go out, ask for funding, get other veterans to help provide these things, and get donations. This is why HMI asks for donations to take care of our veterans. So you ladies out there, if you're a veteran, reach out, get that QR code, call 671-682-7631 and register, because this is funding from other veterans to get to you to take care of you. Because right now, we need a lot of help for our veterans that, we're the ones taking care of ourselves, and we'll keep doing it for as long as we need to.
And then June 10, 11, 12 is our boot camp in Essen. I think it's boot camp 42. Oh gosh, boot camp 42.
41.
Yes. No, 42.
June 41.
No,
41.
So this flyer is outdated. I have to change it because we did boot camp at the summit. So that's why our numbers are off. I gave you a new flyer.
Did you
we're
send the
in 42.
amendment to amend the
I did not.
flyer? Okay.
I did not. I've been
there's
busy, remember?
paperwork.
Yeah,
I've been off
and-
island, which is what we're going to get to if we
That's
can.
no excuse, Jose. See what I
We're
told
gonna-
you?
we're gonna get to
what
that.
form is it?
2 weeks, 2 weeks of leave, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness!
There's an SOP, soldier.
That's what we thought.
There's
right.
an SOP for an SOP. Let's say hello to all of those online watching us. So we have Charita, Renee Taitsuna Wilhite saying buenas, HMI, hello.
Afternoon.
And then Charlie Hermosa, hello guys, Semperfi. And yes, I do have a lot of questions. You can call at the second break because I'm going to talk about home base. That's what this show is for. And then Ken Paulino, good evening, HMI. Good evening, Biba, HMI. And then Benny Panala.
All right.
Si Diyos maasi HMI put todo I chachotmu para un support I veterano.
Very good.
Maagradasi I dedication mu para I manaulik niha.
Hey, wow. You're half tomorrow.
And then Sherry Irerti says, good afternoon, Brennan Fausto. Let's go, awesome veteran warfighters.
Brennan.
Ellen says, half a day. And Vilmer says, hi, Anthony and Karina. So we'll be back after the break.
All right.
Ready to go beyond fast? 1 gig speeds are now available island-wide with Docomo Pacific's hybrid fiber internet. Now you can experience business in the fast lane with unbeatable speed and proven reliability you can count on. Sign up today and enjoy hybrid fiber internet at the lowest prices on the island. Because when your business demands more, we deliver. Let's go beyond fast. Let's go further together. Learn more at business.docomopacific.com.
At Guam Regional Medical City, world-class heart care is just a heartbeat away. GRMC is pleased to welcome board-certified interventional cardiologist Dr. Mahesh Gola and Dr. Bishoy El Babawi. Together, they specialize in advanced heart interventions to treat heart attacks, various heart and blood vessel conditions, arrhythmia, and more. For more information, visit grmc.gu or contact 671-633-GRMC. That's 671-633-4762.
Guam present the 2025 Island Wedding Expo. Mark the date, Saturday, June 14th. Join us as we showcase an abundance of elegant choices for your special day. Table spaces are now available, but hurry, they're filling up. If you're a business that caters to all things weddings, from coordinators, florists, cakes, photographers, and more, call 888-7346 and connect with Doris, Shanzi, Daryl, or Michelle. For more information about the 2025 Island Wedding Expo, call 888-RDIO, 888-7346.
And we're back. So I normally share the figures. So it's what, June 3rd? June 2nd. So I track the numbers about how many veterans are getting awarded their benefits. So this month, deposit into veterans' bank accounts is $57,835.40. Wow. So that's 25 veterans received that much money in their bank accounts starting the 1st. So since January, HMI has played a part in over $346,887.71. That's amazing. I mean, I heard you talking to someone earlier saying, I don't know what other organization does that, but I am tracking it, and these numbers are real, and these people are real.
And this comes in every month for the rest of their life.
For the rest of their life.
So you're saying that HMI gets out there, does things to take care of the veterans, and that brings money into the island. And nothing else right now is bringing money into our island other than, because right now our tourists are down.
Tourism, and then military.
Yeah, the buildup is here, right? But the buildup is kind of dedicated, right? And, you know, granted the military that come here, you know, through their stopovers or whatever, are also considered tourists. But yes, I mean, they're here to stay, especially the ones that are from here. And this is something we talked about that we can actually build upon. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to incentivize them to come to Guam. And this might be a good way to get medical services through medical tourism and have them come here to get the services that they need if we just build it and invite our veterans to come here.
All right.
So one thing I didn't say, somebody texted me and said, be sure you thank the golfers. So thank you to the golfers. And by the way, good things are coming. And we're going to have something bigger and better next year. So if you're a golfer, sign up and get ready.
And some of those golfers are return golfers.
That's right. And a lot of them were veterans.
Yes.
And a lot of them are supporters of veterans. And again, we're going to have a whole lot more.
Yes. And so thank you. I think you already said that. Thank you to the hole-in-one sponsors.
Yes.
Autospot and Nissan. And then so now I'm going to talk about home base.
You want to talk about home? You want to
do you know who the caller is?
Mr. Chris Flores. You want to just take it real quick?
Okay, yes.
All right, Chris, we're going to put you on real quick. Hello, Chris. How you doing?
How's today, Tony and Karina? Fine. Everything's great on this end.
All right. Very good. So you had a question?
I didn't have a question. I just wanted to make a comment. I don't know what the radio program is on schedule for tonight, but I just completed your survey.
Oh.
The one for Bill 8538.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of gray areas in the bill as it is written right now. There's no details, and we all know the devil is in the details. Like for one real quick, and I know one of the questions was, what would be one item that you could change on the bill? And so, the first question I always have is, okay, what is so broken with the current GOVA that it needs to be completely scrapped and replaced with a GDSA? So that would be my number one concern, is what is really completely broken that we have to completely scrap a current functioning of services to veterans and then start new that has no track record, nothing to gauge for the services that are supposedly guaranteed that it's going to provide better services, having all the agencies under one roof for all the services to be provided to veterans. So that would be my first concern. What is so broken now that we can't fix? How come we can't fix whatever problems veterans have with the current GOVA that we can't fix, other than the bill always emphasizing, it's a Veterans Empowerment Act? Is it really a Veterans Empowerment Act? Because my second concern would be, why are we now having veterans be politicians? Because then you're going to have to run for the office of 7 board members, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have to run for. Are going to pit, and as you know, and all the veterans know, the majority of the 28,000 registered veterans on Guam, I would say probably 85% of that, if not more, or maybe 80%, is Army. Mm-hmm. Army has the largest number of veterans on this island. And so I would assume, I'm just assuming, that anyone there running for the 7 seats, I would rather have an Army veteran there to represent me than an Air Force guy.
All right, so
for myself,
yeah.
But you see the point.
Yes, thank you.
Now you're going to pit other veterans against other veterans, which is uncalled for.
Well,
but my main concern and my main comment here tonight is, what is so broken with the current GOVA that we can't fix? Because as veterans, we can always fix things.
Yes.
But to completely scrap an organization, a functioning organization, and then where is the Veterans Cemetery going to fall under?
Yeah.
It can't fall under a non-government agency, because that's what GDSA will be.
Well,
anyway, I just wanted to share that.
Okay.
With the survey is great.
Oh,
and
thank
maybe
you.
we'll talk more.
All right. Hey,
if I wanted to get involved, I would really like to get involved.
Awesome.
To really put this thing to better use, I would think.
All right. Hey, thanks, Chris. All right. We'll touch on that. Okay. Just stay tuned in. All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay.
All right. So looks like we're finally getting some traction on getting our veterans to be involved in that bill. But before we do that, we wanted to touch on something a little bit more closer to home, if you will. It's
not closer to home.
Yes, home base.
No, it's not closer to home. It was far away from home. We're just going to talk about where I was for the past 2 weeks.
What I meant was, when it says closer to home, it's called home base.
Yeah, but it was in Boston, Massachusetts, so that was far from home.
What's the name?
Home base.
Thank you. Very good.
But it's not close to home. Jose, do you wanna roll the pictures so I could start talking about it? And then we'll touch on the bill right before we end the show. So we had Michael G on air, and he said, hey, you should apply for this program. And at the time, I thought, sure, let's just apply for it. So I applied for it because Anthony wasn't going to. And so I applied for the program, and it took a few months to get a response.
Guam is my home.
And then it also took a few emails, phone calls to finally say, okay, yes, you're accepted. So what it is, it's a 2-week intense clinical program. It was at Boston, Massachusetts. It's a partnership between Boston Red Sox. I can't even see the photos. I think our Facebook here has been, I think it's, I know, but I can't see because I wanted to start from the beginning, Jose, so I could just, because it's all chronological. So I wanted to to talk about it because everything was. I think I started from the degrees, maybe the temperature.
Yes.
So what I wanted to do was create a video for veterans from Guam who apply for it because you had to sign all these waivers. So it was a clinical program. So I wanted to show them, when you travel from here, because everything was paid for, your hotel, your lodging. And I went during the cold time and on our short schedule, it said that we'd be we would be in the gym. And so a lot of us were like, oh gosh, we're going to be in the gym. Okay. So, 55 degrees, that's the temperature that I was going to. And I was a little worried because I didn't have any cold weather gear because, I'm from Guam. You could switch it. Sorry. Is that the photo? Sorry. I don't know where you're at right now, Jose. I can't see.
Were you wanting him to play the...
No, it's not play. He's just going to go through the pictures so I could talk about them chronologically. And I can't see it on the Facebook. So I don't know where he's at right now.
When he presses play, it shows some photos.
No, because it's just photos. Next picture, I think is what I'm looking for. And then, so we were housed at the Residence Inn. The Residence Inn is a 5-minute walk from the actual facility. So the facility is 3 stories. The first floor is where you'll have classes, where you'll meet therapists. We do art therapy. I'm just waiting for him to get to the picture so I could go ahead, home base. So when I first went there, this is the outside of the building. When I first went there, when we first checked in, I was telling my classmates that, hey, this is just like basic training. You're all lining up and you're all in your civilian gear. So this was first day of class. You get a backpack and inside you have your binder that you carry around, and you have two different schedules, your day schedule and your night schedule. So this was us checking in. Go ahead. And then this lady right here, who we're going to have on the show, if anyone's ever heard of the Red Hill, the contamination of the Red Hill in Hawaii, Anthony?
It's a housing unit.
Yes, the Red Hill in Hawaii. They were contaminated. So she was staying at one of the houses, her and her family. So she actually has a case against the U.S. government for being poisoned, her family. So she is fined against someone. And this is the binder. The binder that we have. And so you'll see there, this is our map of the area that we were at, Boston, Massachusetts. And then this is the mission statement. So if you'll see on the wall, it says, your mission is over, ours just started. So it's a partnership between the Boston Red Sox and the Massachusetts General Hospital. And we had a guy brief about the VA, and then this is art therapy. We did art therapy. And this is the gym. It is huge. It's on the 3rd floor. And so there are different programs. I only participated in one. There are 4 different programs. And inside the building, there's a lot of different rooms. And this is the short walk. So you're walking on the wharf along. There it is. Their mission is complete. Ours has just begun. And this is the gym. So we didn't do any working out. It's more like fundamentals. And this is on the bus to a museum. That museum is, where did we go? It's like, it was in the 1700s, the first cadets there in Boston. And then, where is this? I can't see. This is, so part of it is funded by Wounded Warrior Project, and that's etched on the glass there. And then this is one of the nights we were free. We got to go down to Boston Market. And of course, what do you eat there when you go? You eat a lobster roll. I think that's what's coming up next.
How do you say that name?
Wicked. No, wait, hold on. How do you say it? There's a way. There's my Uber.
Wicked. It's Wicked Lobster.
Wicked. Yes.
Lobster.
My Uber driver told me how to say it. Okay. And this is beautiful. This is on the way back because we walked there. Oh, there's my lobster roll. That's on the way back. That was expensive. That was like $30-something. So that right there, the bowl of fruit. So we get snacks when we're in class. We get snacks every 10 a.m. and every 2 p.m. So there's a guy that actually goes and gets snacks. And then on the weekend, we went to a farm. So we got to take care of horses, ride the horses. And then I think we got to take care of horses, ride the horses, and then we got to drive them around on carriages. I think that's next. Drive them around on, what am I doing? Oh, and so this is the farm. That was the farm we went to. And then after that, after we took care of the horses, we learned how to sew when they fed us lunch. So it was really nice. The staff is nice there. They fed us lunch. And we got to take a tour of the farm. There were goats. And then where else? That was the postcard we got to do. And then the weekend we got to do team building. That was a really nice place there. And then they fed us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think we overate. Is that lobster? Yep, lobster. That's the Kennedy booth. So this is the oldest running restaurant in the U.S., opened in 1826. So they never closed down except for COVID. And this is the Kennedy booth. He used to sit there on Sundays. It was really good. So I thought that, look at that, Jose. Do you see that? It says The Point. I forgot to send it to you guys. I was outside, and then I turned around and I saw this guy just standing there. I was like, "Excuse me, sir, can I take a picture there?" He's like, "Sure." But so I thought, when Michael said what he went through, I don't think he told me what it was. I thought it was going to be a fact-finding mission, but honestly, when the counselors talk about it, this is the Constitution, which I forgot to bring your hat in here. This is the USS Constitution. It was part of the class. So all these things here, this is all mandatory. So this was written into the program. And then we got to cook. They taught us how to eat. That's art therapy right there. 2 weeks. It was not only 2 weeks day, but it was 2 weeks night. So if you guys think that
Is this a retreat then? How is this treated?
So yes, you'll see all the fun stuff, but let me tell you, all the stuff that you don't see, this is graduation day. What you don't see is me in class. So the way they explain it is 2 years worth of care in 2 weeks. So it was very difficult as a veteran. This is all the stuff that I got. This is the cookbook, the bear, the graduation coin, the certificate, and the shirt. So Michael didn't explain it. I think he went to a different program because mine was really intense. So we learned therapy. You spoke to a therapist every day. They gave you homework every night. So I think it was good for me as a veteran. We did a lot of talking about how, being a veteran is different, especially I was in a class full of veterans that were young and the oldest veteran that I was with was about 70. So, just being together with veterans, it was care, it was camaraderie, and I can't even say it was a retreat because it was a lot of working on yourself together and with a therapist. We had a nurse, we had art therapy, we had exercise classes, we had cooking, and then team building. So, there aren't really things for veterans out there for care because a lot of veterans, when you come back, right, when you come back as a veteran, you integrate back into society, you really just go back home. There's nothing like this. So that's one of the reasons why the program was created, because veterans don't put themselves first, and there isn't a place like this. So I personally didn't know what I was walking into. But what, of course, I don't show you is all the crying, and all the work that you do, and you really work on yourself. So this program is free. And so, of course, I did talk about Guam. I did talk about all the many veterans that are here. And I would like to, start helping veterans register for this because everything is free. The flight was free, lodging was free. They even paid for your Uber there and back to the airport. And And, they always say, healing's not done, care is not done. We have resources that they've given us. They gave us 2 apps that we can always log into. And if we have any questions, we can still reach back. And so they did say, hey, if you're out here in Guam, let's connect you to people and let's do this here in Guam. So they call it a mobile cohort. They already did this in Arizona. So they said, let's do this on Guam. So hopefully have a meeting this week or next week with people on Guam that we want to work and bring this here for our veterans here. Yeah, so I wasn't having fun, guys. I was working.
Sounds intense.
It was very intense. It was very difficult.
Now, is this something like that is... you guys talk about funding all the time and being able to afford some of these programs. Did you get a sponsor for this, or is this something that is there's an endowment for or something? How is this?
Fully funded. So if you go back to the graduation page, you see the big flag. If you see those badges behind us, those were $1 million donors. So for each badge, those are $1 million donors. But it's also partly funded a partnership between Boston Red Sox and the Massachusetts General Hospital. So half of the right there, that one with the flag. So behind us, all of those badges, those are $1 million sponsors. All those badges back there. So it's funded, and we tried to go to a Boston Red Sox game, but it also was the same day we went to the farm, so we were all exhausted. So we really didn't get to go to the game. We didn't get to go to the game at all. But it is a partnership. So there are donors that donate to them throughout the year, and then part of it is funded by the Wounded Warrior Project.
So this is, I think, Red Sox Foundation. That's what funds the programs. And so these are some of the things we talk about, right? In the United States currently, we have corporate entities, we have foundations, we have monies outside of the federal government that take care of veterans out there, just like this specific program. Yet here on Guam, right, we don't even get the federal funding. We don't get the corporate sponsorships or any foundation out here. So these are reasons why we need to maybe start reaching out to Congress and say, hey, look, I know you got funding out there, but the federal dollars and tax liabilities that are being put towards foundations or put towards VA veterans programs where they give them free homes, free cars, free services, if they already have that stateside, there's no need to fund them federally. Maybe we could take some of that funding and bring it here, because the federal funds that are being used for corporate sponsorships are things that they're going to realize anyway will go towards the services for veterans. So if they're taken care of in that fashion, allow those corporate entities to fund everything that they can and take the federal funds and bring it here to Guam. So that way we're able to take advantage of it, because we need it, because we don't even get any of those sponsors or figure out ways to get the corporate sponsorships to come here to Guam and be used here. So that's something we've been talking about.
Okay, so that's where I was at for 2 weeks. Are we going to take a break? And then all right, we'll take a break. And we'll be right back.
Our new Steakhouse Bacon Whopper is now available. Flame grilled beef, topped with creamy peppercorn aioli sauce, fresh lettuce and tomatoes, crispy onions, A1 thick and hearty sauce, bacon, Swiss cheese on a warm sesame seed bun. Top off your Steakhouse Bacon Whopper with French fries or onion rings, or halvesies and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Available for a limited time only. BK Tumon Bay, Agunya, Micronesia Mall in the airport. You rule.
Celebrating the 176th-year anniversary of American President Lines. APL is a trusted partner to the U.S. government and its military. Our U.S.-flagged vessels are proud to provide ocean transportation, logistics, and critical mission support worldwide, and most especially to our local partners right here on Guam and Saipan. APL has an extensive network that connects your shipping needs to anywhere in the world. The APL Guam team is dedicated and here to help you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com. APL Global Presence with a local home.
And we're back. So Chris Flores called in earlier, and he, was talking about the bill, and he did say that he, because we sent out a survey earlier, and we did talk about this in our podcast. We hope we timed it right. The podcast will be aired June 9th, and the hearing is on June 12th. So this bill, I'll just summarize it a few before we get the call. So it's called the creation of the Guam State Veteran Agency. And it will replace services, and it'll bring it all to a single centralized agency. It will take over all the current veteran services personnel and assets, and then it will have an elected 7-member nonpartisan commission, elected exclusively by verified veterans. And then the other thing would be creates a good standing certification system for organizations that serve veterans. And then the funding mechanisms, the bill will allow the elected commission to propose real property tax assessments for voter approvals. And so some of the issues that, are part of this bill would be giving the elected commission taxing authority, and then this very strict timeline of 90 to 180 days deadline. That's very, what did you say earlier? It's ambitious. And then it also calls for a separate veteran-only election, which we've already found out that it's going to cost over $250,000 to do that. And then other government agencies may oppose the transfer of personnel and authority. So Chris's question is, what is broken? Chris, there's a lot that's broken today. HMI, as a nonprofit organization, has been applying to be part of the Veteran Commission today, and 2 years already, and 2 different directors, and we're still not part of it. So, and of course, the services that veterans always talk about, receiving down there. Did you want to get the call?
Sure. Hello, sir.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, Tony, Karina, and Jose.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
So, I followed instructions. I followed instructions. You said second. Oh no, that was you, Karina, who said second break. So
yes, because today was supposed to be about home base and if we had any callers, but of course this bill is coming up, the hearing's coming up, and hopefully we will get to read the survey results and see if veterans even are, aware of what's going on.
No, absolutely. And first, I want to touch and, say thank you so much for representing it out there home base, because, you pretty much did this from, you learned about the program, but you kind of followed and you kind of found, you did it on your own. You applied and you don't know whether you were going to get something back in return and be accepted, but you did. So, to Tony's point, I wish that we could have more information on programs like that, but more importantly, how do we create those programs here on Guam, right? I mean, bringing those capabilities and those monies here. I mean, there's no reason why we can't. And then, in light of the bill, I think that for those who have had the opportunity to read through it, those who have had opportunity to formulate an opinion, the one thing I'm not going to talk in depth about it, because I think we all have our own personal thoughts on what we feel is broken within the GOVA and within the commission. But I think that at least this bill has people talking, veterans talking at the kitchen table, right? I think that there's a lot of veterans are talking about it, and a discussion that Tony and I had earlier was the fact that we should engage all the veterans to have at least knowledge on the bill, and I think that for me personally, it is very important, because I think that one person can't get it right, but I think that we need to continue to get together as a community and we're never gonna, not everybody's gonna agree on everything, right? But we can formulate and present the data. We can present the facts, and then formulate a solution for what we think is broken. But we all have to do it collectively. It can't just be one party or one organization. Collectively, as veterans, we have to come together and formulate and be part of the solution. And again, it's never going to be perfect, but I think that at least this bill gets everybody to start talking about what we need to fix. And then we can come up with different ways to do it.
All right. And you know, yes, our conversation earlier is exactly about that. And you know, the things we've been trying to do was exactly that, right? You know, we need to be bringing our veterans together, not fracturing them and pushing them apart and telling them they're not included in something. If we want to do something for our veterans, everybody has to be included. You may not like some of the things that the veterans might be talking about, but guess what? We have to take that into consideration. There could be something that somebody sees that we might not see. And besides that, we bring it all together and we take a look at it and we try to find, as you said, the best solution for what we have at the moment. And during that time is when we start trying to find out, how do we get to where we want to be? There are going to be things in there that are non-negotiable, right? And some of the things when we look in there is funding. For a long time, we have never been funded to the point where we're able to take care of ourselves. Every single time you turn around, veterans are asking for things, money, services, more medical care. Why is it that these people have already paid and we owe them, but yet we still keep asking them, you know, hey, take care of us, right? And the other thing besides that is, you know, they've already done their part, so it's our turn to take care of them. And right now, it's a shame that our veterans have to go out there and do these things for themselves. Our leaders and our leadership should be looking at this and finding ways. So, you know, we're going to be closing out, but I think we'll have one more opportunity next Monday to talk a little bit more about it. But at least we got it out, and there's a survey. So we'll have you wrap up, Ms. Quinn. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
Chaos in Boulder, Colorado Sunday. I'm Ted Lindner, Fox News. At least 8 people injured by a suspect who reportedly tried to burn himself and others at a demonstration for Israeli hostages.
A man is in police custody after he reportedly set people on fire in Boulder, Colorado. Police say 6 people ages